The Sardinian flag, 4 black Moors' heads on a white field. But which version? That's where the controversy begins. The current official flag since 1999 shows the heads facing toward the hoist with white headbands across their foreheads. But many Sardinian independence activists prefer the older historical version, heads facing away from the hoist with white bands positioned as blindfolds over their eyes. It's not about flag design, it's about identity. Independence groups like Sardinia Libera argue the historical version better represents Sardinia's struggle against foreign domination. They wave the older flag at rallies calling for a referendum on Italian membership, claiming the blindfold symbolized Sardinia's centuries of oppression. Rome disagrees. Italian officials see the historical flag preference as separatist provocation. Some local councils have restricted its display on public buildings. The controversy reveals a deeper question. Is Sardinia an Italian region that happens to be an island, or an island nation that happens to be occupied by Italy? Every time someone chooses which version to fly, they're answering that question. And in modern Europe, that answer is becoming less symbolic and more political every year. The Estelada, the Catalan independence flag, 4 red stripes on yellow. That's the official Catalan flag. But add a blue triangle with a white star? That's the Estelada. And in Spain, that star burns like a fuse. During the 2017 independence referendum, Spanish police ripped esteladas from balconies, fined people for hanging them, arrested activists for carrying them. Madrid's crackdown backfired spectacularly. Today, the flag drapes across Barcelona apartments, covers protest banners, gets worn as clothing. The Spanish government calls it sedition. Catalans call it Tuesday. Because when your flag is illegal, every day becomes a referendum. The Flemish flag, a yellow field with a black lion. It's the official flag of Flanders, and the symbol of a region that might just break Belgium apart. Belgium is a country of 2 halves, Dutch-speaking Flanders and French-speaking Wallonia. But Flanders is richer, more populous, and increasingly tired of subsidizing the South. Flemish independence parties regularly win elections. The flag flies over government buildings, appears at separatist rallies, and shows up at protests against Belgian unity. It's perfectly legal, but perfectly divisive, because when half a country wants out, the other half starts looking like dead weight. The former Macedonian flag, a golden 16-pointed sun on a red field. It looked ancient, royal, powerful, and it nearly destroyed a country before it could begin. When Macedonia declared independence in 1991, they chose the Virginia sun, a symbol found in the tomb of Philip II, Alexander the Great's father. To Macedonians, it represented their connection to ancient glory. To Greece, it was theft. Athens erupted. The Virginia sun was Hellenic heritage, not Slavic. Using it meant territorial claims on Greek Macedonia. Parliament debates turned into shouting matches. Diplomats walked out of meetings. Greece imposed a crushing economic blockade. No trade, no fuel, no recognition. The new republic was strangled at birth. By 1995, Macedonia surrendered. The flag was changed to a generic yellow sun with 8 rays. The Virginia sun disappeared from official use. Today, you'll still see the old flag at nationalist rallies, cultural events, and protests against the name change to North Macedonia. It's not banned, but it's radioactive, because sometimes choosing the wrong ancient symbol can make you a lot of very modern enemies. The Crimean Tatar flag, light blue with a golden tamga in the upper left corner. It's the flag of the Crimean Tatars, a people who've been ethnically cleansed twice in 80 years. Stalin deported them to Central Asia in 1944. They returned after the Soviet collapse. Then Russia annexed Crimea in 2014 and banned their flag again. Today, displaying it in Russian-occupied Crimea can get you arrested for extremism. The flag survives only in exile in Kiev and in the hearts of a people who refuse to disappear. Twice stolen, twice survived, still waving. The Republika Srpska flag, red, blue, and white horizontal stripes. It's essentially the Serbian flag without the coat of arms. And that's exactly the point. It's the official flag of Republika Srpska, one of 2 main entities within Bosnia and Herzegovina. But here's the catch. Many Bosniaks and Croats see it as a symbol of genocide, ethnic cleansing, and the war crimes of the 1990s. The flag is legal within the entity, but waving it in Sarajevo or Mostar? That's asking for trouble. Republika Srpska leaders regularly threaten secession. The flag appears at independence rallies, commemorations of wartime leaders, and protests against the central Bosnian government. It's not banned, but it's not welcome everywhere. Because in the Balkans, every flag carries the weight of graves. The Kurdish flag, red, white, and green horizontal stripes with a yellow sun in the center. It's the flag of Kurdistan, a nation that exists everywhere and nowhere. Kurds are the largest ethnic group without a state. They live in Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and Iran, but none of those countries want Kurdish independence. So the flag is banned in Turkey, restricted in Iran, and tolerated only in Iraqi Kurdistan. In Europe, Kurdish communities wave it at protests, cultural events, and solidarity rallies. It's legal in London, Paris, and Berlin, but displaying it can get you arrested in Ankara or Tehran. The flag represents 40 million people, but 0 recognized countries, because some dreams are too big for borders. The Prussian flag, a black eagle on a white field, typically with black bars at the top and bottom. It's the flag of Prussia, a German state that ceased to exist in 1947 but refuses to stay dead. After World War II, Prussia was dissolved. East Prussia became part of Russia, Kaliningrad, and Poland. But in Germany, neo-Prussian groups still wave the flag, demanding recognition of Prussian culture and identity. It's not banned, but it makes people nervous. Because in Germany, nostalgia for lost territories can quickly turn into something darker. The Silesian Flag, blue and yellow horizontal stripes. It's the flag of Silesia, a region split between Poland, Czech Republic, and Germany, but belonging fully to none. Silesian identity survived partition, war, and communist rule. Today, Silesian activists in Poland demand recognition as a separate ethnicity, their own language rights, and greater autonomy. The flag appears at cultural events, political rallies, and protests against Warsaw's centralization policies. It's legal but controversial. The Northern Cyprus flag, a white field with red horizontal stripes at top and bottom, and a red crescent and star in the center. It looks almost identical to the Turkish flag, just rearranged, and that's no coincidence. Northern Cyprus declared independence in 1983 after Turkey's military intervention in 1974, but only Turkey recognizes it as a state. The rest of the world sees it as occupied territory. The flag flies over government buildings in Nicosia, appears at independence celebrations, and shows up at protests against reunification. It's legal in Northern Cyprus, illegal in the south. Northern Cyprus passports aren't recognized by the EU. Airlines can't fly direct to Irkut Airport. The Székely Flag, a blue field with a gold horizontal stripe, an 8-pointed sun star, and a crescent moon. It's the flag of the Székelys, ethnic Hungarians living in Romania who want autonomy that Bucharest refuses to give. The Székelys have lived in Transylvania for over 1,000 years. They speak Hungarian, follow Hungarian culture, but carry Romanian passports. And they want their own autonomous region within Romania. Bucharest's answer? Absolute no. When local councils try to display the flag, Romanian authorities intervene. When Székely activists wave it at protests, they face legal challenges. The flag isn't technically banned, but it's not welcome either, because in Romania, this isn't just a regional symbol. It's a reminder that Transylvania's Hungarian population hasn't disappeared, hasn't assimilated, and hasn't given up on self-governance. The flag flies in defiance. Romania pretends not to see it. The Chechen Flag, green, white, and red horizontal stripes. Simple colors, complicated history. After the Soviet Union collapsed, Chechnya declared independence. Moscow said no. 2 brutal wars followed. The flag was banned, the republic destroyed, and the independence movement crushed. Today, you'll see variations of the Chechen flag at diaspora gatherings, human rights protests, and memorial services. In Russia, it's illegal. In exile, it's sacred. Putin installed a puppet government, built a puppet capital. But he couldn't kill the idea. The flag is banned. The dream isn't. The Frisian Flag, blue and white horizontal stripes with red water lily leaves. It's the official flag of Friesland, the Dutch province that doesn't quite feel Dutch. Frisian is an official language in the Netherlands, but it's closer to English than Dutch. The people have their own culture, traditions, and increasingly their own political demands. Frisian independence groups are tiny but persistent. The flag appears at cultural events, language rights protests, and calls for greater autonomy from Amsterdam. It's not banned, but it's not quite Dutch either. The Moravian Flag, yellow and red horizontal bicolor flag with the Moravian coat of arms placed at the center. It's the flag of Moravia, a historical region that makes up 1/3 of the Czech Republic, but gets treated like a footnote. Moravia was once a great medieval kingdom. Then it became part of Bohemia, then Czechoslovakia, then the Czech Republic. But Moravians never forgot they were different. Today, Moravian autonomy movements demand recognition, their own parliament, and respect for regional identity. The flag appears at cultural events, political rallies, and protests against Prague's centralization. It's legal but largely ignored. The Breton Black Cross, black and white stripes with a field of ermine spots. It's the unofficial flag of Brittany and the symbol of a Celtic nation that France tried to erase. For centuries, Paris systematically erased Breton language, culture, identity. The flag survived as harmless folklore. Recently, something shifted. The Gwen Hadou became resistance against French centralization. Breton independence parties remain small, growing. The flag appears at cultural festivals, language protests, rallies against Paris-imposed policies. Because in a country built on one nation, indivisible, even celebrating difference can feel like treason. The flag flies quietly, but the message is clear. Brittany remembers what France forgot. I'll be making similar videos. Subscribe to see them.